everybody, this is Bernie from Stampin' Up and welcome back to another Friday card making session with me. I hope you have all had a wonderful week. We are still having rain. We've had over 150 mils of rain this week in New Zealand, in Tauranga where we live, and I'm getting a little bit tired of the rain. But for those that don't live in New Zealand and think it always rains here every day, it doesn't. So yeah, we have beautiful sunshiny weather a lot of the time, but just at the moment that's not happening. But something that is going to brighten up your day is this lovely card that I'm going to teach you the technique, and it's called the Joseph's Coat Technique. And you are going to see just how incredibly easy this is to make. I do want to just give credit to Karen Hagler for the inspiration. A few weeks ago, it is a few weeks ago, about 4 or 5 weeks ago now, all our new in colors were launched, and she did a similar, she used a different stamp set, but she used her in colors to demonstrate this technique, and I thought that was just beautiful. So I've used a different stamp set. It gives a different look, but I have been inspired by her cards. So do check Karen Hadler out. She is part of the same team that I belong to, the Creative Inkers team, and that's just some of the benefits of being a demonstrator with Stampin' Up. We get to learn off each other, so it's really wonderful if that is something that you're interested in doing. So I'm going to pop this card to the side, just not that it's completely out the way, and shall we get started? So you're going to need a normal basic white thick card base at my usual 5.5 by 8.25 inches, scored at 4 1/8. And I do apologize if you were watching my video last week and I had a bit of a blonde moment. That's because I was still a week out from having had COVID and my brain was not hundreds. Then you're going to need a piece of designer series paper. Again, I'm using this paper from the Teacup Suite. It's so pretty. So I've cut this down by 1/4 inch, so 5, or have I? Not sure, but yeah, either 1/4 or 1/8 inch, but you just need to trim that down, and I will set that to the side. And then you're going to need some shimmer white cardstock. So why am I using shimmer white? It's because we're going to be putting a lot of pigmentation onto this card, and ordinary cardstock will not actually, it'll start to sort of peel. So I don't know if the camera picks this up. It's a very dreary day here again, but there's a bit of a shimmer. You could also use your watercolor fluid paper. The colors I'm going to create in the background, I'm using Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Sweet Sorbet. I am not using Orchid Oasis for this particular project because you will soon see we're going to go over it with the Starry Sky, and that is going to it's just not going to show through. So with a blending brush, and it is a highly recommended that you use a blending brush for this project, although you probably could get away with doing sponge, you're just going to blend your color as light or as dark as you want in very random areas. Now, did you see I did a splotchy there? So we're just going to have to cover that up. Bear in mind that this is I'm going to be using the Daisy Garden stamp set. So if you really want to be traditional and you want your leaves green where they should be, then you'll need to come at the bottom of this paper, which is what I'm going to do now, and bring in the green. So that goes there. I might just break a bit of that, create some interest. All right. And then I'm going to bring the blue in. I just want to wipe this one off because you see there's a bit of Starry Sky on it already. So just get that pigmentation off. So the Tahitian Tide. These colors just remind me, they remind me of going to the circus, and just so festival, like festive, not festival, festive. Yeah, they're just so pretty. I might just put a bit of blue in here. Can you tell there's no right and wrong for this? I just want to make sure that there's just some interest and that all the area is covered. All right, I'm happy with that. Awesome. Now, ordinarily, you would just leave this to dry a little bit. So I'm just going to pop you on hold, and I'm actually going to do this with the Heat Emboss tool, because we are going to do a clear emboss with this. So I'm just going to pop you on hold while I dry this slightly. Okay, so I've just dried that ever so slightly so that that is not damp. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the Stamparatus. You don't have to use the Stamparatus for this if you don't have one. I do find it a lot easier when working with background stamps though to use the Stamparatus, but if you don't have one, it is not a biggie. Pop your magnetic bit on there, and I just need to push. I like to just put either a stamp set or a ink pad under there just to create a nice surface to use. And then we need Versamark. Right, I'm just looking for my Versamark. So we're going to use Versamark. Before we do that, I just want to get an anti-static and just go over that. Now, just a little bit of a heads up. Coming in the new July to December catalogue, there is an embossing kit. It's going to have the stamp embossing buddy. It's going to have the little funnel that you can use for your powder and to scoot it back into your container. I am so excited. I can't wait for mine to arrive. So again, that's another benefit of being a demonstrator. All right, so using your Versamark, go over the back of whatever stamp you're using, and the background stamps are much better for this sort of technique because it just creates a lot of interest. Do make sure that you don't miss out on the leaves if you're using this Daisy Garden one, and this one has carried through to the annual catalogue. Okay, we put that aside. Now bring it over. I see my thing is in the way. Bring it over and make sure you're pressing down very firmly. If you have an old-fashioned brayer, you can go over that. You can roll it with a brayer. Otherwise, you just need to use your fingers and just really move the Versamark onto there. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. Move that off. Now, taking care not to touch the design, hopefully you can pick up that there is embossing in there. I'm now going to use my clear embossing powder, and I just use a spoon, and I just go over it with a spoon. Just get that picked up. You don't want to miss out any spots on this stage. Just have a look. Mind you, being a Joseph's coat technique, it is very forgiving. Can you see there is embossing there? Now I am going to use my heat embossing tool again. I'm just going to pop you on hold and then I will show you what it looks like when it's heat embossed. Okay, so I have gone over this with my heat embossing tool and you should now be able to see it's all nice and shiny. When you're using the clear, you will see it goes sort of translucent like this. So if you're using a big stamp, just go in patterns so that you don't miss any spots. And it looks like it's all there. So that is all nice and dry now. So now comes the next stage of this project, which is so exciting. And I might just zoom in a little bit for you so that you can see how it transforms. So I'm going to use the Starry Sky. For this step, you want to use dark ink. You can use any ink color combination you want, but this step you need a very dark pigmented ink. And what you're going to do is you are going to come over the emboss. So it's actually a emboss resist technique, but the difference is that you've put multicolors underneath, so that is what's that's going onto the embossing. And then of course when you put on this darker color, it's bringing that through. So can you see this, what's happening? Look at how that's all starting to come through. There are patches I can see I will need to go over. I just want to first put my first coat. And this is why it's really important for this technique that you use paper that can handle a lot of pigmentation, a lot of ink. So your ordinary flimsy white cardstock that you get from other craft shops, you know, the main stores, the big chain store in New Zealand, will probably not cut the mustard for this project. It will not be strong enough to handle the ink, the saturation of ink. I'm a firm believer that you get the results you get by using quality products. And if you're taking up card making seriously, I would really encourage you to look at the Stampin' Up range. The quality is outstanding. And if there are any issues with the quality, you can get a refund. So yeah, I just want to clean my fingers because they are now so full of ink. Just get a baby wipe. All right. So move that out the side. So here we have the flowers that have come through. That Tahitian Tide blue flower has come through beautifully. Probably could have done a little bit more. Look how much, look how brighter my sweet sorbet was there. But I really love that blue. So I'm going to now mount this onto my card, onto my Designer Series paper. And then we are going to put some of the gorgeous metallic ribbon onto that. And we can have it decide. I haven't decided which one I'm going to use. I might use a whole combination. Oops, that's a bit skew. I love my Tombow because if it's skew, you can just move it. All right. Okay, let's have a look. Let me just go and grab some of my ribbons. Okay, so these are all the metallic ribbons. Hang on, let me just go out. Oops, sorry. These are all the metallic ribbons in the ink colors: Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, Sweet Sorbet, and Starry Sky. So with this one, I used Parakeet Party. I don't want to use the same. I want to use, let's bring a bit of that blue. And I might bring, a bit of that pink because there's pink in the background. I think I might bring, yes, I'm going to use those 3 colors. So, where's my scissor? Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to adhere a little bit of tear and tape on the back of this. Okay, actually I'm just going to flip this over because it's quite, just with all the background stuff, you can't really see what I'm doing from all them blending. So last weekend was a long weekend in New Zealand, and hubby and I went on a date. We went and saw Top Gun Maverick. So have you seen it? If you have, what did you make of it? Did you like it? I loved it. I thought it was really lovely. Oopsie. It was nice and clean for a change, to actually have a movie that was nice and clean. So I'll just move that over a little bit. Oops, 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 oops. Actually, what I might do is I'm going to swap this direction around and bring it that way. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to add that to my card base, and then I'm going to put all the multicolor ribbons on. You'll see what I'm going to do. Hold on, caller. Still too far. That's better. Okay, glue that down. So yes, I enjoyed the movie. It was heaps of fun. I just don't understand how Tom Cruise doesn't age. He still looks the same. It's like, what on earth? I don't know if it was just really good makeup or I don't know, but he just looked absolutely the same. So I am going to pop, I'm just trying to decide, how do I want to do this bow? Do I want to use my, actually no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them all together. So I said I was going to use these colors, eh? Okay, so I'm bringing them all together, and then I'm going to grip them, and I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to cut them. So let's hope this works. Then I'm going to grip them together. Gosh, I'm winging this, guys, as I'm talking to you. I'm absolutely winging this with you. Going to cut some of that blue to go in the middle. Harlequin, that's the name, Harlequin. That's what it makes me think of, a clown, a Harlequin clown. I don't know why, but when I saw these colors, that's one of the first things I thought of. I don't know if it's their makeup that they wear. Hold on, hold on. Let's get that through. It's a bit fiddly. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? I don't know. We're soon going to find out. And if it doesn't, then we just redo it. Okay. Oops. Oops, I need to make sure that I've got the right one. My fingers have got glue on them, and I'm pulling. It feels like I'm pulling stuff that shouldn't be pulled. Okay, I think I've got it. So, fluff these bows out, bring them around and tie it. I'm going to cut this blue off. Well, we're going to cut all those threads off, but this blue thread, I'm just going to create a little bit of a, just bring these together like so. I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm going to place a glue dot on top of that, just like so. And then I'm going to bring my multicolored bow. Oh, you know what? I don't know, because I've just realized, no, I'm going to move it. I don't want it to be on top of that pretty blue. Hang on, hang on. Move that down. Cut that, because I don't know what's going on there. Bring another glue dot in. This almost feels like I'm doing a live. But it's just so that you can actually see when we come up with card ideas, we don't always do it perfectly every time either. That's better, because I didn't want my pretty blue flower to be covered with this ribbon. Fantastic. So I'm just going to cut those all off at an angle, and there, just stabbed myself with my paper trimmer. There we have, let's just get all this out the way. There we have a very colorful bow, first of all, and we have a very pretty complimentary card, which is called a Joseph's Coat technique. So I hope this has inspired you. Go and give it a go this weekend. Remember, you're looking for base colors that will pop, and you're looking for a dark ink that will come up on top, and preferably one stamp, but you can certainly do a most amazing ones with just stamps that are loose. You know, you can create all kinds of designs. It doesn't have to be a background stamp. I just find it easier. So I hope that inspires you. And until we meet again, remember, stamp, eat, sleep, repeat. Bye.